In November, staring at the tree, Chapter 11, Graveyard. In November of 2020, fresh off a plane from seeing my mom in Montana. She was only in the state because of her treatment. We had a blast. We drove the mountains and drove to Spokane, Washington. Talked with my sister about dreams of a coffee shop on a campground at a campground. When I got back, I was setting myself up, self sabotaging, planning my escape. How can I get on the layoff list? I hated my job. I missed my family. My son and I were close. Movies every Friday night. We have seen every Avengers. I make him craft. We swim. We laugh. He is my best friend. Who can I piss off to get on the list? I would say to myself. I guess God picked up what I was putting down, and my big mouth finally pissed off everyone. I drove to my tower on the hill once more, sit in my fishbowl surrounded by power and influence, trying to find gratitude that I was allowed to sit in this aquarium while walking the halls outside of my distorted fishbowl lens that I sat on my face like my glasses, trying to spark joy in my heart. My fire was dying, walking in a cold sweat in this terrible nightmare was burning my passion out. This was when I had my first schizophrenic break that I'm describing. Would that be my life forever? A trip down the mountain may have been A trip down the mountain may have been a dream, and a few hours of rest in December. That visual of my life on fire woke me up like fever sweats. I am ready now, ready for my real dream, my dream of utopia, the dream that is mocked by many. Now that I've awoke and lit my pipe, get my fire going, my embers are still bright. Called to duty, a decision had to be made. Should I continue down the yellow brick road, which has rivers of blood in the trenches along its path? So this decision can lead me to certain death. If I stay, my soul will die. That cost is just too high for me to pay. In a world, I can quickly learn the lesson that you are value based. My value can't be tamed or bottled. My rate on my life is too high. Now that I can see my value for myself, unfortunately, to swim with those sharks, they do not like you to threaten the power. When you get to that level of the world of wars, that's that the scenes are boardrooms and business casual, desk jobs and screens. First thing they do is assign you a title and a rate, a title you crave. The title gets to sit on the internet and in your log on screen as a reminder that you made it. Made it to what? A nightmare disguised as the dream, a life that is lived separate from people I love most, my family. My time away from home was killing my true purpose. The role I played at the top of the role I played at the top was a lie. My value capped, my rate locked in, which means that no matter how hard you work, your worth will never rise. I was to sit and behave. And honestly, I love my company with everything in me, and they did everything that they could. And so a lot of my writings are not what I truly believe, um, but it's good writing, so I'm gonna leave it. I have multiple personalities, and so like one doesn't want to be a corporate sellout, while like me, I'd be like, please, I need my title back, thank you. I want to come back. I have ideas. So like, and they all know that. Like anyone in my life like knows that they have to deal with my multiple personalities. I was to sit and behave, do only my job duties. I planted my seeds in sour soil for too many years throughout many companies. One day in 2020, I pulled up roots and settled my seed in my home. My clouds parted and the sun beamed on my face, reminding me that my place in life is with my family. Once you get past my sweet smile and glossy blues, you find the rattlesnakes covered the floor of my mind. Be careful, I bite. I will sink my teeth into your ankles and lay you into a pool of your own. All only because you presented as a threat to me and my family. After my attack on you, I will crawl back into my den with my loved ones. You do not mess with the snake's family. We wander about the wind, just regular old Kentucky folk, laying in the mountain with the sun beaming on us. Only wanted to be wild and left alone. Don't keep point. Don't keep poking me. I'm look harmless, but I cannot control the force inside of me. The force forged on a long journey until the mountain is search for safety for my family. A little intense of a writer sometimes. My team in that company. My mind thrives on the movements of slithering around the board of chess, making moves 2 steps ahead of a self proclaimed smart individuals hiding behind degrees and greenbacks. Sometimes what they would like to forget is that I'm a good old country girl from the hills of Kentucky. We do not play if you mess with our own. We fight. I lost the fight. I am a little intense. I love them so much. It's sharks. They're sharks and snakes. Ah, I had to write something so everybody relax. I love them all. I love you all. The sharks in that company and throughout my life like to chase me, watch me, sniff me. What they got to learn is at the end of our life walking the same dirt is that I'm a snake and we just want to lay in the summer sun and be left alone. When you roam with snakes, you learn their motives. If you watch and listen long enough, snakes will reveal themselves. Snakes will show you who they are. Not all snakes like each other. If you get to if you get into my den, I will lay you out. Yeah, you will, Stace. However, most humans learn lessons the hard way. You should not get too close to snakes. These humans lean to get closer look, moving inch by inch towards my skin, trying to just get trying to just get a touch or a look or just look at my smooth warm skin. Snakes never were meant to swim with the sharks. If I am a snake, lay me under a tree where the sun can soak my skin with beams of life. Snakes may Snakes may be able to sneak into the tower at the top of the mountain, shapeshift into the part that is assigned to them. And at the end of the day, in the tower, I felt like I was locked in a cage like an animal. My powers used to benefit others. Only tool they need was to inflate my tender ego with reminders of greatness. I would fall weak to the compliments of a job well done. From my glass room filled with hot technology, I watched the shark ship swim past me, giving me a visual reminder that snakes are not meant to be in shark aquarium. This reminder on a Tuesday in September on the corner of a privilege, my mind shifted back to my natural state. My body loaded up in my traveling cage presenting as a white car, and I watched the water leaking from the windows from the aquarium filled with inflated egos and a false sense of security. The sharks started swimming in panic. Their safety is crumbling. My sneaky smile looking back in the mirror, and as they realized my worth, all I will do is remind myself that I was never a snake. I was a lion, covered in His grace, and will walk into the light with His power on my shoulders. A light so bright that you need sunglasses. Put your shades on tight, and you will only get to see my life from the other side of your device, burning big, bright, and beautiful, blasting like a wind tunnel. Please hear Please hear in those winds my deepest apologies. I never wanted to end like this. Messy like my hair, messy like my life, messy like my heart. There is always room for love, and apologize quickly and forgive easily. I may not be a snake, but like a snake, I shed my skin when it's time. Snakes shed their old skin and move onward and upward. The movement brings life back into my fresh skin that lays underneath. The days leaving my tower, going 100 miles per hour down a road, traumas passing me like shadows down the lane. This book is my response to those traumas. that built on my back throughout the years, grinding and hustling and being a boss or trying to be. Trauma from past generations past. Every day driving this long road with painful memories, I can hear echoes chanting in the back of my mind, cheering me on and screaming from the stands with ringing bells in the distance. Keep going, look forward. When my hands got cold and my legs start to shake, my eyes would close from exhaustion. I would hear the hums from all the energy given to me to stay on my feet. Then I take a deep breath, exhale, stand up, and run fast. The last week of 2020, I showed up in every center like a beaten up wolf, walking out of a fresh smoky mountain. The wolf is covered in blood, and this beautiful creature is limping from the fight only he's seen. My curly hair was frazzled from a weary, wandering life that I lived for many years. In the aftermath of words shed on the floor of a patient room, that I gave my first vaccine into the thigh of a new child. Now I seen clear the darkness. My fight is over. I will not play this game, though that they would bait me to play, the evil grins ringing in their minds, like a bloody stake hanging from a tree, that a wolf could not see the net hiding in on the leaves. But the wolf did not see the net hiding on the leaves. The sharks finally caught the feast, and I was too tired to fight. I closed my sleepy eyes and smiled, knowing that the fight in this aquarium was over. And finally I get to rest from climbing, hunting, fighting, and loving. Now the clouds now the clouds parted on my real dream, my purpose for the climb. I awoke and made peace that life I was living was no longer my dream. It was never supposed to be my dream. My sky in my life was turning dark, and I noticed that I was living a nightmare. I found myself living a lie, pretending to be someone else. I've shape shifted into the point that I cannot find my way back to my true soul. My core values were gone, and the values of my heart lie beneath the dirt. The storms were washing away every seed I planted. And although the nightmare is no longer my dream that I live for, it did give me thick, resilient skin, the kind of skin that shines when it breaks the water. That job felt like I was tied to a tree underwater, with each email popping on my phone, listing all my failures covered in protective words like feedback. The feedback felt like a punch in the gut underwater. My handler giving me encouragement, reminding me that the company is not to blame for your fall from grace. The words from a trusted advisor would pull me into the rocks on the river's edge, and all while my leg is tied to a branch that was set when I signed the bottom line, which was to read back to me as a reminder that what my duties are. My mouth was to stay closed. My teeth shook from the thunder in my stomach. There was a storm growing within me. The embers of the fire were reaching a point of explosion. My lifeless body was washing up to the river's edge, being thrown about, earning my cuts and my scrapes on my tired physical aged body. And in the moment the sky opened like a personal message from the Almighty. The message rang out like alarms that I will be okay. I gathered my strength and swam under the water's surface to the rope holding me there, pulled out my pencil from my hair, and started vigorously rubbing the rope in the hope to weaken the tight fibers. These fibers that hold me underwater, breaking off, washing away the tears of failures, running words run in my mind that I could not fail because I am chosen with purpose of greatness, and God placed his hand on my head. The rope loosens my legs, and my body is released from the hold of my grave. I dug myself. Every limb on my physical body starts pulling me through the water. My aged and tired body rise from the water, gasping for breath. My heart was splattered on every wall and grove of that company. They got to watch my son grow, and and this book is written in the wreckage of my life from leaving my behind my corporate healthcare role. My reward for many years of grinding to the top, the prize was a title. The label sits on my login, staring at me, staring at you from the screen, reminding you that you are value based. And every day for 10 years, I clocked in and watched my title change from entry level to the next level to the next.